YouTube channel. My name is Ebony Bowler, where we talk business, faith, and finances. I can't wait to get into this topic, killing a poverty mindset, a real way out. What I've learned working as a stockbroker and for two Fortune 500 investment firms. All right, let's get into it. I am going to be looking at my notes, and I'm letting you know right now, if you are sensitive, you might want to pray before you watch this. I'm serious, because I'm going to be dropping some bombs that's going to help you. Wealthy people buy assets and they sell liabilities. Impoverished people buy liabilities and they don't own many assets, if any. A poor mindset loves to be a consumer. It thrives off of emotional buy-in, unplanned spending habits. It loves the 12 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, any news, especially if it's negative. Yeah, I pause because I want you to think about it for a moment. A wealthy mindset loves new opportunities to create more wealth. It thrives off of positivity, factual data. It does not like the 12 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news or any news that is negative and not backed with proven facts. All right, we're going to get back into the mindsets in a minute, but let's mix it up a little bit because I want to keep you focused and engaged because this is going to change your life if you're looking for a real way out. So let's talk about what I learned as a stockbroker. I will make this disclaimer. I am no longer a stockbroker by choice. I have nothing against stockbrokers in any of the titles or true scenarios I'm going to use on today. It is purposely for educational information only, but again, it's going to change your life in a real way. Full house brokerage firms, they charge you to buy and sell and trade regardless of if you make or lose money. I will repeat that again. A full house brokerage firm, some of you that don't know what that is basically it's a firm or a brokerage firm that actually places trades for you, meaning you don't actually log into your own account like many people are starting to do now and place your own trades. So whether you tell them the right thing to do with your trades or the wrong thing to do with your trades, it doesn't matter. Either way, they're going to make money. When you buy, when you sell, whether you make money, whether you lose money. However, placing the trade yourself, all of these companies that are out here now where you can open up your own brokerage account for free and fund it with as little as $50. If you place the trade by yourself, it's going to be so much less costly. One, you're not paying those type of broker fees. You may pay a small percentage, but totally not what you would pay if you actually reached out to a broker. And I can tell you, just to throw some numbers out there, for stocks, it could be $50 up to 1 to 2% of the portfolio or more. And for options, it can be $150 per trade or more. And these are numbers that I got from recently looking at some articles. So don't shoot me down if the prices are a little different. What people don't understand when they are placing trades is there's a such thing as a market maker. A market maker is a way you can place trades, or you can do a limit order. By going through a market maker to place your trades, you can lose big time because they can make money in between the lag time of order execution because of the rapid fluctuations. They may also post phony size orders to lure you into buying or selling a particular stock. Now, I'm not saying market makers are bad or stockbrokers are bad. It is going back to the mindset of ignorance and not knowing and understanding what you're getting into and how it works if you're going to play the trade game. Going back to mindset, that's what we're talking about today. I want to touch another area in there That may not have interest some individuals who have not even gotten to the place of trading stocks or understanding stocks. I know there isn't a huge percentage of people out there. So let me go to where the majority of the people live, and that is fees and early withdrawals in retirement accounts, 401k accounts, and other investment accounts. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard of and I've witnessed people withdrawing money out of their 401ks or in investment accounts for non emergencies, to be a consumer, for Christmas, to buy Christmas gifts, because they just want to buy a new vehicle because they can. They figure the money's in the 401k, I'm going to get me a new vehicle. Or paying everyday bills, never knowing that you are invested in some type of fund, account, or portfolio that you don't even understand, that is associated with managing fees, where a fund manager may be getting paid. And because you don't know what you're invested into, the company may have put you into this cookie cutter fund or this cookie cutter account where the highest fees may lie. Not to mention, you're going to get a withdrawal penalty for pulling money out before the age of 59 and a half if you don't meet a certain set of criterias. And those criteria, you can look them up, such as, you're pulling money out for the purchase of a home. That's something that's deemed important, an asset. Or you're purchasing, you're paying off some really expensive medical. You need some medical treatment and you need money for that. I'm not going to go in all the ways to avoid it. But again, it's back to the mindset and back to being a consumer. A poverty mindset boils down to two commonalities, and that is laziness, which is willful ignorance, refusing to learn, or using the excuse of saying you did not know when the information is laid before you in books, online, and even people who you may know, like me, who could willingly help you. But many people are challenged by knowledge. I hear it all the time, Ebony, you know so much. I'm too much information for some people and they get intimidated. We're going to talk about that a little bit later too. And the second thing that boils down to the poverty mindset is being gullible. Why do we tend to believe everything that we hear? If it comes from someone in a fancy suit or dress, or a job we've worked on for years and years, and they're saying, put your money here, do this here, this is what you want to do, this is how you want to do it, and you're listening to the people that they've brought in, not doing any of your own research, not saying they've brought in bad people, but I'm wanting you to think here. Or because someone holds a certain title. I am a stockbroker, or I am a certified financial planner, or I am the guru. I'm not saying I'm the guru by any means. I always educate, encourage, empower, and exemplify. Those are the 4 E's of my insurance agency business. That's what we stand for. And I'm not talking insurance on here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I want you to understand how to get out of the poverty mindset. And we're going to go into that a little bit more. Again, you have got to do your own research. You've got to ask questions. You've got to read books, especially on topics that you are getting into that you have no knowledge of, whether that is investing, whether that is purchasing a house or real estate or whatever it may be. But one thing especially you've got to do before you make any decisions, and I'm not trying to be preachy here, but you got to pray before you do anything. Because you got to know that you know that you know you're making the best decisions for you and your family. Hire a team instead of just one person, especially if you don't know the industry in which you're trying to embark, or you don't understand money, and that's what you go to work for every single day, or what you've gone to work for years. Maybe hire a team that watches the team that you've hired. If you just hire one person, a lot of times, if they don't have anyone to be accountable to, or they don't have integrity, who's going to stop them? Who's going to monitor what they're doing? How are you really going to be helped? So let's talk about how to kill the mindset, because that's going to be so important. And then we're going to talk about how to build the wealth mindset after we kill the poverty mindset. Number one, upset the behavior, starve the habits. Sorry about that. You've got to starve the habits. What do I mean by that, Ebony? What do you mean by starving the habits? Well, you didn't get this poverty mindset overnight. Most of the time, it was passed down because you watched someone you loved that raised you do it and someone that raised them to do it. Or either you've surrounded yourself around individuals that do it. So, therefore, you've got to starve the habit. I've once heard it said multiple times from a dear friend and others that whatever you feed will grow. So you've got to first upset that behavior. Realize that it is not the right behavior and it's not the behavior that's going to get you where you need to go as far as that mindset. So, therefore, whatever myths you've learned over the years, habits that you've learned over the years, and you look and you're still in an impoverished state, then that says that what you're doing isn't working. So you need to stop it altogether. How we'll get to doing that? We're going to get into that when we talk about building the wealth mindset. But that's going to be the first thing is you've got to upset the behavior. No longer tolerate saying we don't have enough money, it's not going to work. My mama was poor, my daddy was poor, and they were fine. I'm going to be fine. Different times, boo boo. Different times, different situation. For real, for real. Number two, run towards the people and environments that intimidate you. What do you mean by that, Ebony? Many people are intimidated by wealthy people. Many people are intimidated by people that have more than them. Many people are intimidated by people who are happy and are doing well, especially in the area of finances. That's not the time for you to run. It's almost like you having something wrapped around your leg and you can barely walk, but you refuse to go to the doctor who can help you fix it. You refuse to go see a nurse or someone who can help make it better. Those people that intimidate you, that have the money, that understand wealth, that are enjoying their lives, they can help you if you just stop running from them and run towards them. And if you're not around those people, we're going to talk about that too. Number three, form new habits by doing the most uncomfortable for 60. I would say 90, depending on how bad the poverty mindset is for you, or 120 days or more. I find that as we age and we don't form these new habits, the harder it is for us to get out of it. So that's why I say when you start working on forming the new habits, doing the most uncomfortable. So start with the thing you hate the most. If that is you hate going into a neighborhood that's wealthy, or you hate taking a class, learning about money and discipline and how it works, do that first. Do those things that are the most uncomfortable for you. Do it for 60, 90, 120 days. It will become your new habits. Number four, fast spiritually and naturally. Get a reset. Only God can show you where you measure up in your mindset. It's a dangerous thing when a person doesn't think anything is wrong up here, or when they think you, meaning the ones who have the wealth mindset, are wrong. I've dealt with that on many occasions where I've taught classes, where I've sat down and counseled people, coached people, educated people, sold them life insurance policies, explained investments and terms and things to them, and I was looked at as the bad guy. Woe unto you if you reject knowledge. Woe unto you if you see a problem with being able to have more than enough and able to help many others, versus if you're okay with barely getting by, or someone always helping you out, or you're always in a need, or you and yours is always at a deficit and you're comfortable with that. That's not a good place to be. So you definitely need some spiritual and natural fasting there to get yourself out the way. I'll let you do your own research on that. Again, I didn't come on here to preach to you. Number 5, change your words and your conversations. Oh my goodness. Excuse me there. Changing your words and your conversations. You have got to stop talking negative, doubt, and talking the problem. And you got to stop surrounding yourselves around individuals, no matter how much you love them, that want to keep those type of conversations. Because guess what? Those bad habits are going to keep you there. And remember what we talked about in number 3, forming new habits. So after you've done those 5 things, because I don't want to make this video very long, we're getting ready to go into the wealth mindset. How will you know if it worked? Well, the first thing is you will begin to repel the people and things and conversations that used to hold on to you or want to associate with you that had that poverty mindset or that were impoverished or had that wrong thinking. Those individuals and things will no longer hold on to you anymore. You'll start throwing out stuff with holes in it and saying, I'm holding on to it because I might can use it for this. You'll realize that conversations won't come to you anymore about, you heard about how bad taxes are going to be. You heard about the rent getting increased. You heard about the economy. What we going to do? I guess I'm going to have to just stop eating meat altogether. All those negative words and defeating words and impoverished words. And my daddy was broke, so ain't no big deal. I'll be broke too. I ain't never known nobody that died because they were poor. That's poverty mindset, poverty talk. And even leaders say this. I've heard this being said before in the churches. So it's a scary thing that so many people are impoverished. And then they're teaching others how to be impoverished and how to stay impoverished. I told you I'm going to step on some toes on this video. That's why I'm taking a little bit of my time. But I really want you to understand where I'm coming from because I want you to get free. Okay? And now let's talk about the 5 ways to build the wealth mindset. No different than the other 5. We're just going to kind of reverse them. Number 1, learn a new behavior. Before we were upsetting the behavior. Now we're learning a new behavior. Feeding your mind with the good stuff. With the word of God. Again, I'm not trying to be preachy, but God does not preach about being in poverty. And when I hear people say that, I run like lightning. I don't want to be associated with it. Don't teach it to me. Don't tell me that's what it is. Don't tell me I'm going to hell because I'm wealthy. And don't tell me I'm going to heaven because I'm poor. I'm not buying it. So number 1, the word. There are videos like these that teach you this. There are several people that have topics on getting rid of the poverty mindset and building a wealth poverty mindset. And books. Plenty of people have placed it in a book. Pick it up, read it, absorb it, go for it. Number 2, run towards the people and environments that intimidate you. That was the same as number 2. Now that you're building that wealth mindset, you want to surround yourself around people who think like you. I can't tell you how many times I've had to fight like no end to get away from individuals, conversations, teachings, again, from spiritual people who want to keep me in an impoverished mindset and who tell me I am wrong for wanting to have wealth. Not because I want to be greedy, I don't want to be needy. And I want to be able to help others not to be needy. And we can all walk out our purposes without the permission of money. Money does not supposed to stop the call and the gifts and the instructions and the mandates and the mantles and the uh, what am I trying to say? Instructions, yeah, that God has given you. So that's going to be number 2. Run towards those people and environments that intimidate you. They'll be able to help you. Quick story, I used to be so intimidated by a certain mall. This mall was so classy, and I'm not a shopper by any means. However, I've gone to malls before, of course, because there are certain things where you can get several things in one place instead of just going to one department store or one furniture store or one food store. And I used to run from there because all the people to me, they were like, it was like they came out of a magazine. The way they walked, the purses that they had, the shoes they had on, the way, the look that they gave. OMG. I was so intimidated by this mall. I never ever wanted to go there because I always felt like I was being judged, looked at a certain way. Run towards those places because no one is better than you. And I'm not saying money makes a man or a woman at all, but surely you should not be intimidated by anyone, no matter how much they have in their pocket. And if you truly understand wealth, you're going to be one of those ones who have plenty in your pocket. And you're going to be able to help someone else not be intimidated by you because you were able to overcome your intimidation by those that were once uh, where you are now. Okay, as you get to the wealth, if I said that right. Number three, form new habits until they become comfortable forever. The other three for the poverty was form new habits by doing the most uncomfortable for 60 to 90 days. This time you're going to form new habits until they become comfortable forever, meaning you're not looking at every dollar price to see something. I'm not saying that there's no such thing as discipline because I'm disciplined in some areas, not in every area. I'm still working on it. However, I'm saying it's not based off of the cost of it, whether you're able to buy it or not, when you get past that mindset of being impoverished. To break that down a little bit more, because I feel I need to do that, there are some real sneaky ways that you can have a poverty mindset and not know it. One of those ways can be where you spend lavishly and you just out of control. You never know what you have and you never care what you have. You just spend, 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 spend. And I understand, well, Ebony, you're saying being wealthy. If I'm wealthy, I can just spend. No, you don't want to be wasteful and just doing it for the whatever of it. But I notice that when people are in poverty, they will do that sometimes because they're afraid that they're going to run out. Imagine a person who came from a family of 10 or 15 siblings. And I'm not harping on anybody because my mom came from a large family and my dad did as well. So I'm not saying that makes you have a poverty mindset. Don't put words in my mouth. But what I am saying is when you find people who spend, 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 and they just have no type of discipline, no type of way to even get to the wealth because all they do is spend everything as soon as they get it. Those individuals, a lot of times, are dealing with poverty mindset because they remember being a kid and they never could afford anything or everything was always taken from them. So, therefore, they spin it up because they are like, I might not get it again. So, that's one poverty mindset way. The opposite of that can be to hold, 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 and hoard, hoard, hoard. Now, I'm not a hoarder or holder per se, but I did used to struggle a whole lot with being extremely frugal. Like, oh no, I don't want to spend that because, again, fear of running out. If I spend this up, will I make more? Will I get more? Will more come to me? So that's another issue. Excuse me there. So that was just an example I wanted to give you. Number four, fast spiritually and naturally. Get a new mindset. Only God can show you. So that's similar to the poverty mindset. We said fast spiritually and naturally and get a reset. Only God can show you. Now you're fasting spiritually and naturally and getting a new mindset. Only God can show you. Again, He can show you where you measure up, what you need to do, and help you to get there. And I'll give you another example on that too with the fasting spiritually and naturally. When I say spiritually and naturally, a lot of people fast naturally for health. I know a lot of people are doing intermittent fasting now. That's real popular. So a lot of people are already like, I don't eat, so that's no big deal. That's on a natural basis. And that can help you. That can help reset the fogginess in your mind, or maybe some things that you may be dealing with from your health side that may be fogging up your brain or causing the laziness or the lethargicness. So that will help. So yes, do that. But what I'm talking about also is fasting spiritually, meaning that relationship that you have with God, being able to hear from Him what He's saying to you about you and the things that you struggle with. You know whether you struggle with overbuying or underbuying. If you think there's never going to be enough, or if you think that you know if you're going to get it again, so you're going to spend it all up, Or if you despise wealthy people secretly, or you have that true lie in your head, because it's truthfully a lie, that if you are wealthy, you're going to hell, and if you're poor, then you're going to heaven. And people use that crazy analogy all the time, or they use that one scripture that they find about the camel and the needle of the eye for the rich man to get in heaven. And they use stuff like, well, Jesus didn't have a home and he was poor and all that. And I'm not getting into that with anybody. I'm not arguing with anybody. Don't you go comment on my stuff about this, because I'm telling you, I'm going to delete it. I do not dispute, debate anybody on what they believe or how they believe. I just give you the knowledge of what works for me and what I've read. And then you just take it from there. So again, spiritually, you want to know if you have those issues that's holding you back mentally. If you think the wrong way, if you're thinking a negative way, if you're finding yourself always scraping by, do you know how much poverty hurts people? How many people, when you look at the stats of it, how people have done all kinds of hideous things to get money, for money. Many people sell things they shouldn't be selling, body parts and so forth, for money. Many people have taken lives for money. And I'm not saying just because people are wealthy, they're not going to do all of that. I understand there is a segment to that too. And that has a lot to do with something else, wickedness, not just about the money. The money itself is not what's driving people up the wall. It's their love and how they measure wealth. And wealth comes in more forms than just money. That's why we're saying a mindset. Because it's even how you love, it's even how you communicate, it's how you show love. It's a whole gamut to that. But right now, I just want to talk to you more on the material sides, because I know so many people are hurting and so many people are looking for a way out. The last one, number 5, change your words and conversations. Let there be light and joy. How will you know if this worked? Again, change your words, change your conversations. Don't have conversations with people that you know are going to go there. Change how you speak. And how will you know if this worked? Pretty much the opposite of how you will know if it worked when you've got rid of the poverty mindset. How will you know when you've gained the wealth mindset? You will begin to invite people, the people and things that you were never able to invite before in your life. Wealth will come to you, ideas will come to you, opportunities. When I say wealth, I'm not talking about a pile of money. That's where so many people get it twisted, and they literally pray, oh, give me money, give me money, give me money. No, 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 no. We're talking about opportunities. We're talking about ideas. We're talking about people that you will win over, that will want to associate with you because of the way that you think. And I'm not saying that you've got to have a particular person or people, because we know God can move in many ways besides just one man or one woman. There are ideas, there are opportunities, there are places that you could be at the right time, at the right moment, that He can allow for you to be that one person where that opportunity presents itself. For me, I use myself as an example. Oh my goodness, I've had many opportunities that I've been able to take, and I've been fortunate. The word poor, I've once heard someone say it. It stands for passed over opportunity, repeatedly, POOR. And I believe that is true. Oftentimes we pass over opportunities because we're afraid, because we don't know if we can do it, because we've listened to the wrong conversations, because we've said the wrong things to ourselves, because we didn't pray about it, because we didn't get ourselves out the way by fasting and getting those things up out of us that were built into us and downloaded into us from childhood, from birth, things that our parents believed and said, and it's just hammered in here. And so I say to you, get a wealth mindset. I hope that this video blessed you. If you have not already, subscribe to my channel. We do talk business, we do talk faith, we talk finances. All my real true faithful subscribers know what they are called. They are my BFFs. They are my business, faith, and finance friends. And that's what we talk about on this channel. I thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking it. Pass it on. Let's build wealth together. Until the next time. Mwah.